My name is Paul Plant, here to tell you the story of how my interest in art was conjured not only by appreciation for it, but by an accidental journey through the wilderness. A few years ago, I was on a walk in the woods with some friends and got lost in my thoughts. When I returned to paying attention, I realized that I had completely lost track of where I was and had no idea where to go. All around me, I could see trees and nothing else. I dug through my backpack to find a compass, but all that I was carrying was a candy bar and an old book, Birds of America, that was falling apart. Desperate for anything that could help me, I opened the book to see if there was anything that might help me find my way back, which is how I discovered pages lingering from John James Audubon's diary. The entry I found began as follows. June 30th, 1850. With the knowledge that I am growing older, I wish to record the details and accomplishments of my life before I am no longer able to share them. My life began in 1785 when I was born in Saint-Domingue to my father's mistress. In spite of the emotional turmoil his wife must have been experiencing, she chose to become my stepmother and to raise me to be a well-rounded and well-educated man. I have always viewed her as my true mother, and she's never given me any reason to believe otherwise. My father and stepmother sent me to study art in Paris, but I was never very keen on traditional education and did not last long due to my dissatisfaction with the curriculum. Though my parents worked hard to provide the best education for me, I found that I enjoyed learning from the world around me. Nature was completely fascinating to me, and I desperately wanted to explore both its scientific properties and artistic beauty. I had a much greater appreciation for learning from the outdoors than from the stuffy classrooms my father steered me toward. While living in France, I turned 18 and quickly departed for America, partially to avoid Napoleon's military draft, but also to explore the new scenes of nature I hoped to find there. I first lived in a town near Philadelphia, where I was blessed with the good fortune of meeting my wife, Lucy Bakewell. We started a family and moved out west to explore the wildlife. I worked as a businessman in Kentucky to raise money to support my family, but also sold charcoal sketches I made in my spare time. Having the opportunity to explore the West during my lifetime was an incredible experience because so much had recently been revealed about American wildlife. Lewis and Clark had completed their expedition when I was 21. Now I was eager to make my own discoveries. It was difficult to make a name for myself in America. People were not as interested as I hoped they would be in the sketches I'd been creating of the diverse and intriguing birds that inhabited the frontier. I used wire implants within my bird specimens to realistically pose them for sketching purposes, making my work as accurate as possible. I continued to present my drawings to American publishers, but found that they were unimpressed with my lack of professional education. In spite of this drawback, I eventually found success by sending the illustrations to England. Because English citizens hadn't experienced much of the novelty about American nature, they were excited to publish my book, Birds of America, and I was finally able to make use of my studies in nature and art. I was lost in Audubon's story and my own thoughts. The world around me became less threatening after reading the way he had described his love for nature. I examined the lifelike illustrations of birds contained within my book and stopped worrying about finding my way out of the forest. My friends found me still reading 20 minutes later. I went home and, still fascinated by Audubon's story and artwork, my mind began to fill with ideas of what I could paint to make people feel the power of nature. I was inspired to show people the beauty that could be found not only in a whole animal, but even one simple part of it. Since my journey in the woods, I have spent my work in art creating images that reflect the amazing qualities of the nature and animals that surround us. My triptych was inspired by Paul Plant's focus on bird eyes and his realistic, super zoomed-in approach to nature and its properties. I chose to apply the same principles he used in his paintings to capture human eyes in an accurate and detailed way.